Hello everyone, this is CJ with Cycletron. Well, you may have noticed a trend on social media where someone says they work in a ER department or a rehab facility and they list the top 5 things they would never do as a result of their experience in those professions. And more often than not, number 1 on their list is to never ride a motorcycle. Presumably they've seen a lot of devastating injuries, which no doubt occur, or worse, for people who are involved in motorcycle crashes. And then they go on to say things like they would never use a ladder, other things like that. Ironically, they never say I would never drive or ride in a car, or I would never fly in an airplane. So I think motorcyclists understand the inherent risks of riding a motorcycle. And the smart motorcyclists, which I believe is the vast majority, manage those risks by not being reckless, by wearing protective gear, by riding within their limits, and so on. So in essence, they manage those risks. They don't avoid those risks altogether. Now, if you've watched a few of my videos, you know I have a pretty strong interest in Stoic philosophy. Some of the ancient writings from about 2,000 years ago in Rome and Greece. And one of the ideas with that line of thinking is that a person should contemplate death once in a while. And that's not to be morbid, it's to just recognize the obvious. And it sharpens your intensity for living now, for living in the moment, to appreciate what you have. Because as we all know, we're only visiting the planet Earth. There's a quote, and I'm paraphrasing, something to the effect that, you know, you want to avoid dying before you actually die. And avoiding all risks, apparently, is not the way to live. So for those people who say they would never ride a motorcycle or never do this or never do that, that's fine. But they're also not really thinking about the benefits and the joys and the life experience that can be gained by engaging in those activities. Now, there's some people that don't belong on a motorcycle, just like there's some people who don't belong on a ladder. But my concern, if you want to call it that, is for people who have a parent or a significant other and they're making the case as to why they should ride a motorcycle. Those types of social media content just reinforces the idea in some people's mind that riding a motorcycle is just utterly foolish. Now, fortunately, we still live in a country where an individual can make their own choices and decide what kind of risks they want to take. They call that freedom. Of course, that's getting encroached on year by year in some form or fashion. But we can still ride motorcycles in this country. So for those of you who want to ride a motorcycle, consider the risks, manage those risks, and go for it. By doing so, you can have a lot of fantastic experiences that you'll remember for your whole life. And you have fun. What's wrong with having fun? But, you know, the people who ride get it. The people who would never ride can make their own choice. But how good is their information? That's their deal, really. So what do you think about this? Please let me know what you think in the comments section. And please stay tuned for future videos. Thanks very much.